All right, let's talk about that little box you see everywhere online. You know the one, that squiggly text, that grid of traffic lights. It's the digital gatekeeper we click through every day without a second thought. But what you might not realize is that behind that one simple click is a decades-long war, a hidden war between human minds and artificial intelligence. And believe me, that war is taking a wild turn. This right here, this is the question at the heart of it all. For years, these little tests were our firewall, the one thing separating real people from automated bots. But the bots, well, they grew up. They're not just dumb scripts anymore. They're starting to think. So what happens when the very thing designed to tell us apart from computers can't tell the difference anymore?
To really get what's happening now, we have to go back. Let's rewind the clock to the early, kind of Wild West days of the internet.
So picture the late 90s. Search engines like AltaVista and chat rooms on Yahoo were getting absolutely hammered by spam. Automated programs were just flooding everything with junk links and ads. The internet was drowning in noise. Something had to be done. They needed a filter, a test that a person could pass, but a simple bot couldn't. And voila, CAPTCHA was born. Now, the name is a bit of a mouthful, but it's actually genius. It's basically a Turing test in reverse. See, instead of a machine trying to prove it's human, it's a human proving to a machine that they are, in fact, not a robot. The whole goal was to find a task that's super easy for our brains, but was basically impossible for the computers back then. And this kicked off a huge arms race. First, we got that warped, squiggly text. You know, the stuff that was designed to fool any text-reading software. Well, computers got good at that, so the game changed. We moved to image grids, the classic find all the buses puzzle. Then, to make our lives easier, it evolved into that simple I'm not a robot checkbox, which was secretly analyzing how you moved your mouse. Every single step was a reaction to the bots getting smarter. But here's the plot twist. The opponent isn't a simple spam bot anymore. A totally new challenger has stepped into the ring, and it's playing a completely different game. And this is the part you really need to get. The thing trying to get past the gate now isn't just a program following a few lines of code. It's what the experts call an AI agent, and trust me, it's a whole different beast. So what's the big deal? What makes an agent different from a bot? It's the autonomy. An old bot was like a wind-up toy. It could only do what you programmed it to do. An AI agent, on the other hand, it can look at a screen, understand the goal is solve this puzzle, and then figure out for itself all the steps and tools it needs to get the job done. And this chart breaks it down perfectly. An agent isn't just one single thing. It's a whole system. It has a world model, which is kind of like its internal understanding of how things work. It has a planner to strategize. It can use tools, like a search engine, if it doesn't know something. And here's the kicker. It has self-improvement. It learns from its mistakes. This is a much, much more powerful opponent. And listen, this isn't some far-off science fiction. These things are out in the wild right now. A recent AI agents hackathon showed off systems like RiskWise, which can predict disruptions in global supply chains, or Apollo, which can act like a world-class research assistant. These agents are already doing incredibly complex jobs that, until very recently, only humans could do. So what happens when you take these new, super smart AI minds and you point them directly at our old digital gatekeepers? Well, the results are kind of terrifying. Okay, check this out. This is where it gets crazy. A recent study pitted the best AI agents against some of the hardest logic-based CAPTCHAs out there. And the results are just stunning. The top AI agents are now passing them with a 90% success rate. And humans? We get 93%. That gap, that tiny 3% gap, has basically vanished. The researchers who ran these tests did not mince words. They said that these advancements have, and I quote, effectively collapsed the security barrier. The old walls of the fortress have been breached. Not with a battering ram, but with an intelligence that just figured out how to pick the lock. So if the test of pure logic is broken, where do we go from here? Do we just surrender the internet to the bots? No. The answer isn't about making the puzzles harder. It's about changing the very nature of the test. Researchers have zeroed in on what they call the cognitive gap. See, AI agents think in a super structured, step-by-step way. They break a problem down into a million tiny decisions. But humans, we're messy. We rely on intuition, on just getting a feel for a task. We're great at things that require physical adaptation and dealing with fuzzy, ambiguous situations, exactly the kind of stuff that's hard to write a neat plan for.
And this is where the new defenses are headed. They're designed to exploit that gap. So instead of a logic puzzle, imagine a dynamic jigsaw where you have to intuitively drag and feel a piece into place, or a test asking you to figure out how a shadow would fall from an object, or a time task where you have to react to a moving dot. These are easy for us, but they are a complete nightmare for an AI agent that has to plan every single micro decision. So the real key here is understanding that this isn't the end of the story. It's just the next phase in a race that, honestly, we'll probably never have a final winner. You see, the whole battle has shifted. It started as a test of simple perception. Could a machine read text? Then it became a test of logic. And now we're shifting again to a test of a much deeper kind of cognition, our intuitive, physical, adaptive understanding of the world. Every time the machines catch up, our online definition of what it means to be human gets just a little more interesting. And this all leaves us with a pretty fascinating and kind of profound final thought. For decades, we proved we were human by being smart, by being logical. But as machines master logic, maybe the new test won't be about our brilliance at all. Maybe proving our humanity will come down to the things that are messy and intuitive and hard to define. Our creativity, our instincts, and maybe, just maybe, our beautiful, inefficient imperfections.